Hello and welcome to the Bridge Live. My name is Rahul Kargal. The BWF World Championships 2025 is taking place in Paris from the 25th of August to the 31st of August, and all the top shuttlers from across the world will assemble in Paris to contest for the coveted title. And over the course of the next 20 minutes, we will talk you through the Indians that are in the fray and all the big names to look forward to. Joining me right now on this live broadcast are colleagues of mine from the bridge, Ritu Sejwal all the way from Delhi, and Abhijit Nair from Ahmedabad. Ritu, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Rahul.
Abhijit, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you, Rahul.
Now, the BWF World Championship is an extremely important event on the badminton circuit, and we will be talking about how the Indians might just perform, and we'll take you through the possibilities. And remember, there are 13 Indians in the fray, and they will be competing across nine different events: the men's singles, the women's singles, the men's doubles, women's doubles, and of course the mixed doubles. But before we talk about their chances, we'll take a step back just a tad bit and try and understand the significance of these BWF World Championships. If I can come to you, Ritu, how significant is this particular event?
Thank you, Rahul. I think the Indian shuttlers, they're back in Paris again. It's the same city as it was for the Paris Olympics. And World Championship is among one of the most prestigious badminton tournaments that are held annually, barring the Olympic years. And it's got the most ranking points along with the Olympics and, all the top ranked badminton players they participate in this tournament and it's very important, and especially now the athletes, as I mentioned, that the shuttlers are back in Paris. From here they don't have very good memories because they came back empty handed, returned empty handed after the Paris Olympics. That's something that the Indian shuttlers have done, after 2002 or 2008 Beijing Olympics. They came home without an Olympic medal. So I think they will be really looking forward to changing that and bringing home some world championship medals. As you mentioned, that there will be 13 Indians in fray in different events, and we have a rich history of medals at the world championships. We've we have Lakshya Sen, we have HS Pranoy, we have PV Sindhu, who's won the maximum medals at the World Championship. So yeah, in terms of ranking points, in terms of the tournament, we'll have some of the best playing in the tournament. So it makes it very prestigious for them to perform at that top level.
Yes, it's an important event on the circuit, isn't it? Quite simply because it's a world championship. Abhijit, if I can come to you now, India has had a fair degree of success historically, right? The world championships, remember, started in 1977. Can you talk us a bit about the nature of success India has had in the past?
Yeah, so the success you're talking about is more or less has been in the last one and a half decade. Before that, it was maybe just one medal from Prakash Padukone back in the 80s sometime, right? After that, there was a huge gap, and India was not able to medal at the Badminton World Championships. All of that kind of changed when Jwala Gupta and Ashwini Ponnappa won that historic bronze in women's doubles, I think back in 2011. So that was around 14 years back. And since then, India has medaled consistently at the Badminton World Championships. The likes of Sindhu and Saina Nehwal kind of carried the baton forward for the longest of time from that period. I think from 2012, 2013, around 2013 when PV Sindhu won her first bronze medal as a teenager. She broke through and she made the world take a note of her at the biggest of stages. And from then until 2019, she was consistently winning medals for India at the Badminton World Championships, and she even won the world title, India's only world title in badminton in 2019. And yeah, so it's been a happy hunting ground, the tournament in recent years for India. But again, off late, that dominance in women's singles which India had with Saina and Sindhu has kind of waned off, and now it's more the men who are doing the hard job of continuing the legacy and winning medals. Since Sindhu won the 2019 World Championships, no women shuttler unfortunately have not medaled for India. And it's been the likes of Sai Pranit, who also won a bronze in 2019, and the likes of Lakshya Sen, Kidambi Shrikant, even Satwik-Chirag for that matter, who have won medals for India since then. So I think once again that is going to be the trend this time around as well, where a lot of heavy lifting will be left to Satvik Chirag, I think. And yeah, so a happy hunting ground in general, but this time around we'll again have to wait and see how they fare. There's not a lot of good performance in the recent past to bank on and say, hey, they'll surely come back with a medal, but we always hope for a good show.
Yes, the most recent success that India has had at these World Championships was in 2023 when HS Pranoy won a bronze in the men's singles, right? I want to come to you, Ritu, with that premise. How do you think Lakshya Sen and HS Pranoy will fare? And I just want to bring this slide up. In the fray, in the men's singles, we've got two Indians.
Yeah, Rahul. We have Lakshya and Pranoy, as you mentioned, and interestingly, both of them have won medals at the Worlds. Lakshya won a bronze in 2021 along with Kidambi Shrikant, who won a silver then, and Pranoy won it in he won a bronze in 2023. So both of them have had their share of experience when it comes to winning a world championship medal. And if you talk of Lakshya Sen, who's world number 15 right now, he will be playing world number one, Shiyuki, in the first round. And we all know that on his given day, he can beat anybody in the world. But right now, he's struggling with form this season. After the Paris Olympics, where he challenged, where we all saw that, in the semi-final match, we saw him challenge world number one, Victor Alexin. After that, he's won only one title, that was in 2024. That was the Syed Modi. And this season he reached, I think, the best performance would be a quarterfinal finish at the All England and a semi-final at the Macau Open. And this season he's had six first round exits. So he's had his own share of injuries. He I think he what he needs right now is to gain a lot of confidence on the court, and I feel he can make a comeback. He has that in him, and he has beaten Shiyuki before, and I think he can do it again. And if we talk of HS Pranoy, who's world number 34 right now, and he will be taking on Finland's Joachim, and he, as I mentioned before, that he's also won a bronze medal. He's also had his own ups and downs in the past few years. And if I would say they have a tough draw, but then this is World Championship. Obviously, we cannot expect easy matches here. So yes, they will be testing themselves, and they have to dig deep. They are capable of causing big upsets, but they have to dig really, really deep this time around.
Yes, they really will have to punch well above their weight, right? Lakshya Sen struggling to perform since the Olympics, and HS Pranoy struggling with illness and subsequent outcomes of lack of form. Let's move on now to the women's singles draw, and no points for guessing. Who do we have? Abhijit representing India in women's singles.
It has to be PV Sindhu, right? It has always been PV Sindhu over the last few years. Even when her form has dipped, even when she's certainly not at the best, even when she's not beating the top players in the world, she's still the best India has got. And uh, draw wise, she has a decent start, as in the first two matches which she'll have are possibly not the hardest, that not the toughest matches she'll play at the tournament. It's a easy start for her, so she can maybe, if she can get into a rhythm soon enough, settle herself ahead of the bigger challenges which comes forward. she might she might have a chance to do decently well here. And that being said, Sindhu has always been this one player who comes good at the World Championship. She's won like 5 medals at the World Championships since 2013 to 2019. That's like 5 medals in a space of 6 years. She's not won anything since then at the Worlds, but you always hope that Sindhu will come good at the World Championships. Recent form does not does not inspire a lot of confidence, but we all know that she's been working hard with the new coach in the back end. There are some tweaks being made to her technique. She's working on her speed and agility. She's trying to improve. She's putting in the hard yards. And I mean, I think as we all do, she'll also be hoping that it all pays off at the biggest stage that there is. And yeah, so for Sindhu, I think the ideal situation will be to get herself acclimatized to the conditions as much as possible, and settle herself in, and uh, win those first couple of matches in straight games, so that she is not tired herself out ahead of the bigger matches which comes ahead. And yeah, so that would ideally be her aim, and we hope that she goes deep into the tournament.
That's right. There's always an element of the unknown with PV Sindhu, isn't it? And that's what makes it so much more exciting when you're following her exploits. Let's move ahead and now talk about the doubles. And Ritu, we've got the very popular Satwik and Chirag in the men's doubles, but they're not the only ones representing India at the World Championship this time around. There's Hariharan and Ruben as well. What can you tell us about India's chances in the men's doubles, Ritu?
I think this is one event where I think our chances look very bright. As we mentioned, that we have a rich history of medals at the World Championship, and again, Satvik and Chirag have done it before. They were the first men's doubles pair to actually believe that they can win, and they did it in Tokyo in 2022. Since the Paris Olympics, the pair have not won any title, but they have reached 5 semi-finals after coming back from injury layoffs and a break that they took after the All England. So that's really promising. They are the former world number one, and there was a period of injury. There was lower participation in the tournament, which saw them drop out of world number 20. I mean, top 25 ranking, which is their lowest in years. That they were at the top, but they've shown some strong form in at the Singapore Open, where they defeated the world number one pair, and they reached the semi-finals there. So in Paris, if we talk, they've got the first round bye, and the other men's doubles pair of Hari Haran and Ruben, who's the world number 33, they will meet Chinese Saipai pair. And interestingly, the winner of that match will actually be facing Satvik and Chirag. So if the Indians manage to win and advance to the second round, so they have Satvik and Chirag waiting for them. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how Hari Haran and Ruben perform in the first round, and then we could possibly have an all Indian clash in the second round.
That's rather unfortunate in more ways than one, isn't it? You want Indians to be facing off, if they do face off, right at the fag end of the competition. But it will be interesting to watch Ruben and Hariharan in action as well. Remember, like you said, Ritu, they are world number 33, which is fairly impressive as well. Let's move on and look at the women's doubles uh, opportunities right now. Abhijit, who do we have representing India in the women's doubles segment?
Unfortunately, no Teresa Jolly and Gayatri Gopichand here, who are India's top ranked pair. And I think it's because Gayatri has picked up some injury, which is taking some time to recover, and hence they will not be featuring in the tournament, which honestly is a big blow to India. I mean, we all had witnessed the kind of performances they put up at the World Tour finals last year, right? Even though did not end up on the podium, they put up some really spirited performances there. And since then, also they've done decently well for themselves, even though they've not won a lot of stuff. But the were signs of improvement, and them not being here is certainly going to be a big miss for India. As to who is playing for India, it is obviously the Panda sisters, Rutuparna and Shwetaparna, as well as Priya and Shruti Mishra. So both of them have a decent first round match lined up for them, as in they are the higher ranked pairs in their respective matches. So maybe we expect them to, cross that hurdle and move into the second round. But that's where again the challenge starts. So Priya and Shruti will most probably they will take on the South Korean fourth seeded pair who have like a first round bye. So they are sure to face them in the second round, which definitely is not going to be easy. And if they manage to like pull off the match, that would be the story of the tournament for India. So, but I don't believe that's going to happen. Even if they manage to push them to their limits, that would be a very good sign for the Indian badminton when it comes to women's doubles from Priya and Shruti. As for the Panda sisters, I think they have a decent enough chance to win their second match. I mean, the opponents are a Malaysian pair who are ranked higher than them, who are seeded as well. But if Panda sisters maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just wishful thinking, but if they manage to play to their best, they can maybe push them to the limit, and under pressure, anything can happen. So maybe a third round entry for Rutuparna and Shwetaparna Pandey, but that's also far fetched here. But I think that if they reach there, that would be a good result for India in women's doubles.
Correct. Yes, and Triza and Gayatri, the mention that you made, that of course is a big loss for India. We've got comments coming in from the viewers. Dipanshu says tough draw for Lakshya and Pranoy. If they can get past that first hurdle, he says their path might just be easy. It's all about crossing that first hurdle, isn't it? Not just in the men's singles, but across the board. Such is the level of competition that India will be up against. Ritu, I want to come to you now. We need to talk also about the mixed doubles event because there are more Indians here as well. There is a pair that we really recognize in this segment. Talk us through this.
Yeah, so we have Dhruv Kapila and Tanisha Castro, and we also have Rohan and Shivani. Uh, if we talk about Dhruv and Tanisha, they're the world number 17. They've got the first round bye, and in their second round, I think it should be an easy one because they're facing a lower ranked player. In fact, they're facing world number 122 pair, and so they should be able to clear that hurdle as well. But if they advance from there, then they could possibly meet world number 5 Hong Kong China pair of Sang and Su. And but one thing that I would like to mention about Dhruv and Tanisha is that they've had an amazing performance during the Sudirman Cup. Uh, the duo, they were the only ones to actually secure a point for India against the tie in the tie against Indonesia. They had an absolutely thrilling three-game match, which India eventually did lose. But I think their performance was the highlight of the entire tie, and so they showed potential there. So, among other notable performances, I would say they reached the semi-finals stage in the German Open. Then they were at the quarterfinals at the Malaysian Masters, and they were also in the quarterfinals at the Asian Championship. So I think they are they're looking bright here, but I think they're gonna face some real challenges from round of 16 onwards. That's where I feel that they really need to push their limits and maybe show some more remarkable performances while they are in the match. And then, of course, we have world number 33 of, I'm sorry, they have, yeah, world number 33 of Rohan and Shivani as the other mixed doubles pair.
Yeah, and I think you just mentioned your prediction for Dhruv and Kapila there. Round to 16, you said that's as far as we've talked about through the entire course of this conversation, as far as Indians' capabilities to progress. So that is something that we'll probably be keeping a close eye on. And talking about progression, Abhijit, who, according to you, could well be the surprise package of the tournament as far as Indians are concerned?
Mhm. I think we just spoke about them. I'll keep my eyes peeled for Tanisha and Dhruv. They've had some decent performances in the recent past, although a lot of it have been in lower ranked tournaments, or maybe when the top players are not really no all the top players are not really playing, but they've showed the potential. We know there's a good spark there. I think they complement each other really well, and the way Tanisha has switched from from women's doubles to playing mixed doubles with Dhruv, it's been really commendable. And as Ritu said, right, they have a good start as well. The opponents don't really look very threatening, at least on paper, but again, the Indian players have this tendency of losing to some unknown, not really well-ranked players, or players who are not really known in the circuit. So that's something which we can keep an eye out for. Maybe if they overcome that, then, and if they play it up to their potential, they really have a good chance of you know pushing the best to the absolute limit and carry forward from that. And we'll see where they go from there.
Yeah,
And
that's really
also another name, yeah, another name I would like to mention is obviously Lakshya Sen. We all know he's certainly not at his best. He's been extremely inconsistent throughout the year since post the Paris Olympics. But if he manages to get past Shiuke in the first round, and that is a big if. It is something which he has done in the past. We'll hope that he does it again. But then, as one of the comments said, right, if Lakshya Sen wins that first round, then he's maybe has an very easier path. Not extremely easy, but something which players who he has beaten in the past, players we know he can beat again. So Lakshya Sen is again one player you need to keep an eye out for if he manages to cross that first match. So all comes down to that battle against Shiuki. He was in a similar position in Paris, I think, last year at the Olympics, where he had to beat Jonathan Christie and in that group stage match, and he came out all guns blazing, bulldozed his way through, and uh, eventually ended up with a fourth place finish. So we count on him to do that once again in Paris and kind of have a redemption arc.
yes, and regardless of the outcome with Lakshya Sen, there will be sparks of brilliance through the course of his game, which is what makes him an exciting player. And you mentioned Giyuki Abhijit. Ritu, I want to bring you in now and call out some of the favorites to probably win the tournament. Now we're not talking about just Indians alone. Uh, Across the board, let's call out a couple of names for the audience to watch out for.
As much as I would want an Indian to actually win the men's singles event, I would say Shiyuki from China is somebody that I'd be really looking forward to how he plays in the tournament. He's the current world number one. Of course, he will be facing Lakshya Sen in the, or I would rather say Lakshya Sen will be facing him in the first round. So he has had a phenomenal season this time. He's won three Super 1000 events. So in the men's singles, I would pick Shiyuki as my favorite. And in the women's, I would pick world number one again. She's the defending Olympic champion, and she's also the defending world champion. I'm sure you must, our viewers must have guessed who I'm talking about. She's none other than Ansi Young, and I think I would pick her, even though I would, in my heart, want our Indians to win. And but then, yes, those two would be my picks.
I would
That's
I
right.
would also
And
like to add I would also like to add Anders Antonsen to the mix here. He is the second seed, right? And he's someone uh, he's someone who will face HS Pranoy in the second round if HS Pranoy manages to win the first round. And so Antonsen, if he manages to cross that Pranoy hurdle, I think he'll also have a very, very good chance at the title. And this must be something that he's looking forward to very much, because for most part of his career he has stayed in shadows of Victor Axelsen. He's been the secondary Danish player always, and with Axelsen not playing this time around, unfortunately, this is the time for Anders Antonsen to shine and to make his mark. If things go his way, surely watch out for Anders Antonsen.
That's right, and it's also important to mention that Victor Axelsen will not be at these World Championships. He's recovering from a surgery on a herniated disc, so that's one less player to worry about for the rest of the field. But once again, the BWF World Championships 2025 will be held in Paris, and it starts on the 25th. There are multiple Indians in the fray, like we've been talking about over the past 20 minutes. 15 Indians across 9 events. We've mentioned the names to watch out for, and we'd also like you to continue to follow the coverage of the bridge.in, because we will bring you live updates on the bridge.in and updates of results across our social media handles as well. Ritu, thank you very much for joining me this evening. Abhijit, you as well. And thanks for joining, and continue to follow the bridge.in. This was our live broadcast, a preview of the BWF World Championships. Thank you very much, and stay tuned. Bye.
Thank you.